let's talk about the difference between joining a private practice physician group versus joining a corporate practice. Now let's run some numbers here just to make it sort of interesting. So one thing that the private practice people will do, again, they're gonna not really reveal all the numbers. Like I said, the thing I like about the corporate practice is they kind of tell you the numbers up front. They don't try to hide anything. I think, again, they kind of tell you this is straight up what it is. This is the rate per RVU. The employers in a private practice kind of make it a little bit harder to understand that. So they kind of like to play with numbers. Everybody likes to play with numbers. So let's just say you join a private practice. They might offer you an annual salary of something like $350,000. Now that sounds pretty good, especially for your first year of work. And it's not bad, to be honest. It's definitely not bad. What they won't tell you is what the work expectation is going to be. Now, you might even ask about this, and they may not be very upfront with you, but trust me, they know, because if they're actually business people, they have to know this stuff. I mean, basically, business is accounting, really, what it comes down to. It's accounting. So you have to know the productivity per physician. What they're going to do is they're going to try to attract you with a high salary, as high as they can possibly make it. Let's say about $350,000. The way they're going to pay for that is that you're basically going to pay for it. And they're going to make your productivity high. That's something you're going to have less control of. You're basically going to show up for a shift. You're going to work. They will outline that the goal of the shift is to kind of clear the list. That might end up being that you end up working, maybe, let's say you do about 1,000 work RVUs in a month by clearing the list and then being on call. Private practice on call expectation is kind of high. You kind of have to be on call probably about once a month if it's a small practice. So your daily workload will be kind of high. Your on-call productivity will be kind of high. Probably you'll be doing at least 1,000 work RVUs a month. If you divide that out, 350 by 12,000 work RVUs, it ends up being less than $30 per work RVU. $30 per work RVU for 12,000 would be 360. So just to kind of give you those numbers. So you're probably earning for the practice between $50 and $60 per work RVU. So basically, you are paying your own salary, and you're also you're creating profit for the private practice partners. All right, because basically, the goal of a business is to make money. And actually, you are the product too. You are somebody that's making money for the practice. Now, the only thing that I like about the corporate practice, is that they make it very clear that they will be making money off you from the get-go. They'll just tell you straight up that, okay, we're going to pay you $30 per work RVU, and that's basically the rate going forward, and that's going to hopefully continue for the next few years. It could change year to year. There could be changes to that, but generally speaking, it'll be some variation of that going forward. So basically, again, in the short term, probably your pay per work RVU, basically, essentially your pay, your overall rate, will be the same in a first few years of becoming a partner in a private practice, and the first few years of being employed in a corporate practice. Now, theoretically, how that could change is when you're a partner in a real private practice, eventually your rates would go up substantially. And that's kind of the hope, and that's kind of the desire, and I think that's the reason to go into private practice. That's one of many reasons. The other reason would be that you have more control over the practice, but one of the goals is that eventually you get to have more of a share of those earnings. Again, I haven't done it. I haven't seen it to be true myself. I've heard about it. Certainly for some people, it makes a lot of sense. I think, like I said, the goal of the video is really to talk about the short-term prospects. So that in the short term, really, they're going to be about the same. If you're not sure about where you want to work, where you want to live, where you want to practice, and you're just sort of exploring things, and your options are, again, this is my opinion, if the options are joining a private practice with a path to partnership, or joining a corporation, a corporate medical practice as an employee, I think in the short term, really, it's going to be about the same. You're going to be paid substantially less per work RVU than you're generating, and that's just kind of how it is. And as long as you understand that, then I think you can make an informed decision about what you want to choose to join. If you stay with the partnership, theoretically in several years you will get that sweat equity. But if, let's say, your plan was to leave in 2 to 3 years anyways, because maybe the geographic location was not your ideal, or were you not even sure, where you're just trying out an area and you probably will leave after 2 to 3 years, then realistically it would be the similar experience, at least compensation wise, between the two. So anyway, just a little bit of food for thought, you know. Bottom line, you know, figure out what the compensation is, figure out what the productivity is, figure out the work RVU. Someone has that information. Very easy to pull up. Physician productivity. I mean, it's just a number that's just in there. It's easy to find. So ask somebody to get that number for you, and you know, do the math yourself. You know, plug the numbers in. It's one thing divided by another. Struggle MD.